Hey, this is Chris with Hook, Line, and Paddle, and here's another video in the series on prepping for a multi-day kayak or canoe trip. So we're going to be leaving in a few days to do our 7-day trip on the New River with paddling for pennies. So this is a layout of all the gear that I'm taking. So a quick rundown. We've kind of done videos of each part and piece of this. This is it all kind of laid out here on the table. So I have tent, top quilt, air mattress. I decided to go with a Tyvek ground sheet instead of the ground sheet that came with the Outdoor Vitals, the one person 40th tent. Just a little bit bigger and have little tie outs on it so I can stake it down. So I just wanted to have a little bit more in the vestibule. I'm getting in and out, so I just wanted a little bit of a larger one, so I made it out of some Tyvek. But we have our sleeping mat that's going to go underneath for extra insulation, the inflatable mat, camp chair, ridge line, all 7 days of food. So right now this is Wednesday. This is the Wednesday before we're going up on this coming Sunday. So on Saturday, that's when I'm going to pick up some bagels and some soft tortillas for my lunches. That way they're nice and fresh. Get them at the last minute so they're fresh for the whole week. So we got our paddling clothes, our paddling shorts. We have our warmer clothes, some warmer socks, our down jacket, bringing a raincoat, toiletries. I have my Rumple towel, which is a fast absorbent, fast drying towel, Rumple face cloth, 2 packs of baby wipes. A lot of the stuff I just got in that travel section for TSA, small stuff. So inside my toiletry kit is contact solution, deodorant, shampoo, a bar of soap, so that kind of stuff, toothbrush, toothpaste. I got some hand sanding while we're on the river, bug spray for at night, definitely some sunscreen. Coming over to here, water. So I got a big clean canteen. I have a couple breakdown hydro packs. These are the 1 liters. So when I'm done drinking them, they're going to pack away nice and small. I'm also going to fill up my 3-liter Camelback bladder and have that in the hull of the kayak with me, and just having the drink tube come out of my skirt. So we're going to move on to our cooking system. Of course, we've gone over this before. Transgia Triangle, 1100 series Toast titanium pot, utensils, alcohol bottles, spirit burner, Toast Titanium's windscreen, and I went ahead and got a couple of those easy reach Bic lighters for lighting that alcohol stove, keep my fingers safe. Coming around here, I got a flashlight for around camp, my Petzl headlamp. Here we have, this is kind of my just kind of safety kit. So in here I have things, you know, I got extra line, I got a fire starter, some wipes for my sunglasses or my glasses, an Opnel number 10 stove, a pocket bellows, and a ferrocerium rod. So, you know, for at night if we get a chance to start a fire, or, you know, just having a little bit of fire making material and some cordage and a little bit of that kind of stuff handy, kind of put together in the kit's kind of nice to have. You never know what's going to happen. This guy right here, this is going to hold all my cords, my battery chargers, batteries that we talked about in another video on what I'm taking for camera equipment and how I'm charging it. That's all going to live in here. Deck bag, the Taj Mahal from NRS, some paddling gloves. The other video that came out before this one on the kayak and why I chose it, all that gear is kind of in there. So what we're going to do is move on to the Taj Mahal. It's my deck bag, my NRS boater paddling gloves that I'm going to be wearing. And what I have is I have 2 small first aid kits. This little Johnson & Johnson guy, just pick up at any of those little box stores. Again, I found this in the travel section for TSA stuff. So just something to have handy. Packed in the kayak for anything serious. I have my first aid kit. So this is for 2 people for 4 days. So this is going to be ample. I have to take care of us out there on the water on the 7-day trip, just in case something happens. But this guy, you know, blister on a hand from paddling or a cut or something like that, just real quick, grab a Band-Aid, grab an alcohol wipe. So this little Johnson & Johnson guy from you know, just that travel section. And then of course, my Tilly hat I'm going to be wearing while I'm on the water paddling, just some sun protection, my ears, back of my neck, and my face. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all of this, we're going to pack it in its dry bags. Most of the stuff is going in either a 10 or a 15-liter compression sack to get it nice and tight and small. Then those are going to go into dry bags, anywhere from 10 to 25 liter, 10, 15, and I got a couple 25-liter dry bags. That's how we're going to pack them up. The food, I was going to break out 3 days of meals in one dry bag, 3 days of meals in the other dry bag, because the first lunch and snacks for the first day, I'm going to keep separate. That 7th one will be the one that goes in the Taj Mahal that first day, and I'll just kind of have 3 and 3. Makes it a little bit smaller, a little bit easier to pack. So we're going to get all this packed up. and put in a dry bag so you get an idea what that looks like. And then we'll break down the kayak, and then we'll go ahead and load it so you can see how we're going to pack it. Make sure the weight's distributed evenly from that, and then that'll conclude that video. And pretty much after that, minus just getting the bagels and the soft tacos for my lunches, probably on Saturday before we go to keep them nice and fresh. This kind of wraps it up. So the next videos that are going to be coming out are actually days on the water, talking about what we've done. So stay tuned for those. So we're going to kind of wrap this series up with how to prep with this video and then loading the kayak. So stay tuned. So everyone, we're back. So all that gear that was laid out on the table, we now have in all these dry bags. So food bags, 25 liter, tough sack from NRS. We got some clothes and stuff in the 15 liter tough sack. And then a few other smaller NRS dry bags mixed in. So what we've done is we figured out what's going to go in the stern of the kayak, what's going to go in the bow of the kayak, and what's going to go in the cockpit. So since I'm standing right here in the cockpit, I have a small insulated cooler bag that's going to hold some of those cheeses for my peanut butter and bagel cheese sandwiches. But being able to unclip the backrest of the Dagger Stratos, I'll be able to fill it with a couple frozen water bottles. That's going to tuck right in the back to keep those cold. Now what I'm also going to do is I'm going to take this 3 liter bladder from Camelback. Once it's full, I'm going to lay it back here, run it under my back band and up through my skirt, and I'll have that just kind of laying on my lap, so when I want to drink, I'll be able to bend down and go ahead and get a sip of water. So that's going to make life easier. Then I have a few other smaller water bottles stashed through the cockpit of the kayak, and I'm going to use those to refill the bladder as we stop and take breaks and stuff like that. So I'll just refill the bladder there. So the deck bag, the Taj Mahal from NRS, we have a few different things in it. Got my pilot knife up front. Inside the dry bag of the Taj Mahal, I have first aid kit, one of my Anchor battery backups so I can charge stuff. I'll have a set of camera batteries and the charging case from Osmo up in here. I haven't put those up there yet. And we'll have our lunch and snacks all built in, and that one bag will slide in there. And that is all. I'll probably have my bilge pump on the top webbing here, just to have it handy. Possibly a water bottle on the side, but I think I have enough room inside the cockpit for those extra water bottles kind of between my legs. So let's move back to the stern. So as you notice with the kayak, that stern gets skinnier. There's also a skeg in this kayak, which means it's a skeg box. There's a piece of plastic coming up. That's what the skeg comes out of and comes back into. So we got to think about, we want to put the smaller things tucked back here because we want to maximize the volume of space in the kayak. So these few small dry bags, my toiletry kit, and my towel, that fit perfectly on one side of the skeg. And then my battery backup stuff, the extra cables and all that in a dry bag fit nicely up on the other side. Just stuff that in there. So now basically this part of the boat's full. So now we have plenty of space for other stuff. So the next thing I want to do is my food bag. It's kind of my biggest, but again, it's going to start getting to be the smallest. So I'm going to stick that guy in. Going to kind of bend and push a little bit, but that's what it is packing a kayak. Get stuck back in there. And the next thing I think was going to work the best is this is tent and sleeping bag. Can pop right up in the front here. And then that leaves clothes to stick in the back. And once you get it in, you're all set. Hatch goes on, you're ready to rock and roll. So with that same principle of skinnier in the back, it gets wider towards the cockpit. Moving to the bow, we're skinny at the bow, and we get wider. We're also going to a smaller hatch. So these are going to be a lot smaller dry bags to get in and turn to get pushed in where they need to go. So here again, this is my cook kit. I'm going to get that jammed way up in the front, and I'm going to follow that with the other two Anchor battery backups with their charging cables. They'll kind of go in sideways, and then I kind of test fit this before I did the video. My 10-liter stuff sack, two together in a dry bag was too big, so I took one 10-liter dry bag. This has now my down jacket, my fleece hoodie, and my raincoat. So they were all able to fit into a 10-liter dry bag, which then makes it easier to go ahead and get it stuffed up in that bow, pack it right in, which then leads me to more of my clothing, which will go down. This one was a little tight, but it got in there, down, and I was able to rotate it flat and push it back. So that's the rest of my clothing plus my tarp. And then along with that, now we have this little stuff sack here, which isn't dry, which is fine. This is going to be the tent footprint, which is waterproof already, and all my tent stakes and my 107 centimeter and my 127 centimeter poles for the Outdoor Vitals tent. So that's going to go right inside there. And then my collapsible camp chair fits in at an angle. Then you can rotate it because there's some hard parts there. And I still have a little bit of cockpit space. So what I'm able to do is I'm going to cap everything off with that sleep mat. Instead of rolling it, I folded it. I'm going to be paddling in my Astral Hyaks. My camp shoe are going to be my Astral TR mesh. So those TR mesh, I'm going to double over. And I'm going to go ahead and put them up here in the bow where I have space. They fit perfectly. And then I can take this guy. I'm going to fold it one more time. Let me get these shoes a little flatter. Fold this over one more time. Because again, this is just going to be between me and my actual inflatable sleeping pad. So there's just extra insulation. Doesn't care if it gets a little messed up. And then the hatch goes on. So you can see we have this table completely covered with gear. And by using compression sacks to pack it smartly and laying it out properly to fit whether the stern or the bow hatches, plus eating up some of that gear in the deck bag, water bottles inside, the bladder inside, my small little cooler bag inside to keep my cheeses cold for my lunch throughout the week. Again, it'll just be skirted. I'll be able to bring my water bladder hose up to drink out of, just kind of rest over my lap. I'll have my hat on. So essentially that's how I'm going to pack the kayak. And like I said, I'll acquire more space in the stern as my food supply goes down, but that's not a big deal because everything fits now. Like from day one, everything fits. So I'm not going to have a packing issue every morning trying to figure out where things go. I'm going to unpack the boat. As it goes in, I'm going to put the tent up and have my clothes out and all that. It's going to go back in the same way every time. The battery backups, you know, once one anchor battery's been spent, I'll trade it out, have a new one up here. So that'll be a little bit of a rotating dry bag. Likely when I get to camp, part of setting up my tent, sleeping bag and all that will be taking out my toiletry kit. So that way I have my toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, soap, shampoo if we have a chance to take a shower, which also has a washcloth in it and a towel. So even if we don't have a shower facility at night, at least I have the river, I can get wet, wash my hands, wash my face, clean up a little bit, brush my teeth. So this is basically the layout. Again, we're on the water. I'll have one of these will be a forward-facing camera, one of these will be a rear-facing camera. So my point of view and what I'm seeing down the river, and then I have another one I'm going to have on a selfie stick that I can hold out for getting some B-roll. So this kind of wraps it up for this, you know, prepping for a multi-day kayaking trip. So this will release probably while we're on the water, and then the videos to release after that will be the actual trip, how we set stuff up, how we kind of live day to day out of the kayaks to kind of reinforce what we've loaded in this kayak and how I was able to live out of it comfortably for 6 days on the river. So catch those videos. This will probably be up while we're on the river. And again, remember, we're doing this for paddlingforpennies.org, which supports first responders and wounded veterans. So this is Chris with Hook, Line, and Paddle. If you can go to their website and donate to that, awesome. If you can't, no problem. I hope you took something out of this video. I hope you learned something from it. That's the reason why we're doing it. I want to be a little bit more forthcoming. Let people know that this is something possible to do. This isn't rocket science. This doesn't take years and years of experience in the woods. Some simple equipment can definitely get the job done to have a comfortable couple days on the river and have a comfortable, safe days on the river. So if you have any questions about this video, please leave them in the comment below. If you have any better ideas, if you pack your sea kayak differently, please let us know. There's a million ways to do it. This is the way I do it. Someone might prefer your way over mine. that's no problem at all. Any questions other than that, please reach out to us at the store. We're Hook, Line, and Paddle. We're here in Wilmington, North Carolina. Hook, Line, and Paddle at yahoo.com for email, or our website, hooklineandpaddle.com. Thanks.